lattes in that job.
Sometimes you need a part that you just can't find. Or you can find it, but they're sold out everywhere. Or the other option is the part's a good bazillion dollars. And I'm trademarking that number, is bazillion. Yeah, that's it. So there's only one answer that suits me. Freaking make it. And I make a lot of stuff around here. I make a lot of parts, I make a lot of tools, make a lot of my own stuff around here. And yes, I have torches and cutters, but that's not what this channel's about. This channel's about showing how the average person can make a simple part in their own garage, backyard, front yard, sidewalk, street, library, whatever the case may be, to show you a simple way to make parts that you can use and that you may need, or tools that you may need or use, and may not be the fastest way to get it done, but it's a way that anybody can get it done. Perfect. Is it recording?
Yep.
All right. So I need my engine run stand. I need a way to bolt a starter to our FE engine. Normally for a Ford you have to have a bell housing. I don't have a bell housing, so I'm going to make a plate. I'm going to use more of this than I have to, so I'm going to make a plate that will bolt, that the starter can bolt to, and I'm going to use this old block plate to kind of draw out a design here. I don't need much, and I've got this piece of 1/8 inch thick steel here that was used as a pallet, so I'm going to try to just make basically a square plate here that will bolt to the back of the block that will hold the starter in place. And I wanted something nice and heavy, and this suits the bill. So the first thing I need to do is draw out the design I want to use.
Now, are you going to draw the bigger one that you said you might need for a different kind of starter? Or are you just going to use the one you have?
It's gonna work. Let the professionals handle this.
Forget I said anything.
I already have. Alright. So basically what I need is this hole, not this spider web, this hole, this hole, this hole, this hole, and this hole. Alright. So what I'm going to do is basically create something that looks like this. Actually, really straight right across there. Really important to me is the placement of these holes right here. So I'm just going to cut this with straight lines to make it easy. Take the grinder, round it off, but I'm going to drill these holes first. These holes right here are what's important to me. These holes are important because I'll drill these holes out. These 3 holes right here are starter bolt holes. And then there's 2 bolt holes that go to the back of the block and a hole for the dowel pin alignment, so that I can put a block plate on there just like you normally would, put the flywheel on, and then where the bell housing will bolt, I'll bolt this to it, and I'll have 3 holes here that I can bolt the starter to, go through, and I'll be able to crank the engine on the run stand. Now, since this is 1/8 inch thick, it's probably thick enough that I could thread it for the bolts, but I'm probably not going to. I'm probably going to weld a nut onto the back of it just to give it that extra little bit of reinforcement. And that's how we're going to mount a starter to a Ford engine on a run stand without a bell housing. Either that, or when I hit the starter button, that'll crinkle up like a piece of newspaper, fly the starter off, go through the shop wall, take out a support, the whole thing collapse on me, and I'll be buried alive back there. Not sure which one. I'm hoping for the first scenario. My camera operator had to run away, so this is basic gist of what I've got. I've made it so there's enough room that I can put holes for like a Windsor or Y block or whatever I want to run, and this one plate will do any of the Ford engines that I have, and then I don't have to worry about a bell housing. Again, really thick metal, so I don't have to worry about it flexing or anything. So now we just got to get to knocking in our holes, and I'm going to do the holes first and then cut the outside shape. This is why I can never get anything done. Every 5-minute job turns in to a 2-day job. Brand new, just took it out of the pack, and yeah, this adapter for the hole saw, I didn't have one big enough, or at least I couldn't find the one I had that was big enough, and yeah, it just broke through the metal and snapped right off. Yeah, I'm trying my best not to let frustration set in, because right now I still don't have quite the energy level I used to have, and I don't want to waste it on nonsense like this. So yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to go right back to the store that I was just in and replace what I just bought. Take a quick little break right here. We're getting there. We're getting there. And again, this is like 1/8 inch thick plate. And there's no doubt in anyone's mind, this is not the optimal tool. My goal for this channel from the very start was to show people how just common everyday backyard kind of people could build something without having to have a $500,000 shop to build it in. So a plasma cutter, yes, would be the proper, just get it done quick kind of tool for this job. But let's face it, a cheap Harbor Freight plasma cutter is like $900. A good one's thousands of dollars. So the average guy's not going to have that kind of money to go out and pop. A lot of people have hole saws laying around. If you don't have a hole saw laying around, you can go to Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Home Depot, Harbor Freight, whatever you have in your area, and you can pick up a hole saw cheap. So just for a couple of bucks. So trying to show you how you could do this without putting a lot of money into it. You know, the backyard guy, I need to get something done kind of guy. And with just a little bit of patience, not only will a hole saw eventually do it, it gives you a washer that you can use for something else in the future. You know, if you need a big 4-inch washer with a, I don't know what that is, a 5/16 hole in the middle. So just to make your life easier, most people already know this, get you a small drill bit, do your little pilot hole, and then do the size you want. It's going to make your drill bits live a little longer, and it's going to make you not have to work so hard. All right, so now we have these 3 bolt holes here, which are the ones that hold the starter. We have the hole for the starter and these 3 holes here. So now we've got a hole here and 2 holes here. One of these is for one of the locating dowels on the block, and the other 2 are bolt holes. All right, so the outward shape of this doesn't really matter, and nor this hole. This hole was already in this. This is some kind of big industrial pallet like they use to move machinery around on. And we're gonna cut it up because it's good, thick, heavy metal. Now, the outward shape of this doesn't really matter. I'm gonna get it close to this shape and add a little extra metal back here just because I want a little rigidness. Now, I may not cut it this far out. I may cut it closer to this. I may even come up and scoot around this. But this is kind of what I'm going for. A lot of the ones you see online actually don't even have this whole hole. They just come down here and come around to here and just have this shape to them. But I do want this circle here, so I'm gonna keep that. I may just come up a little closer to this in this kind of manner. We'll see. I'm gonna start cutting on this. Okay, so here's what we have. Still need to do a little cleaning and everything, but the holes are measured the right size. See, this will bolt to the block down there at the bottom, kind of like that. And then you have your 3 holes for the starter, and they just sit in there. And then we got this heavy plate to bolt to the back of the block. Wait, hold on. We screwed up. Wait. Hold on. Stop. Just stop. We screwed up. I screwed up. We screwed up. You didn't tell me about it, so on your part too. We screwed up. All right, here's what we're doing. Now, every one I looked on online made for a Windsor motor was made more like a C shape and not a complete plate. Never even dawned on me to look at that a little closer. And I went and made a little test fit on this one and realized we screwed up. Easy fix, but let me show you what went wrong, because I'm not picking on anybody. Obviously I mess up too, but this is an easy thing to overlook. All right, if the starter bolt's here, it comes through. Well, the flywheel is here. The starter's trying to go here. We can't have a piece of metal over here. It has to be just like them fancy store-bought ones. It has to be just this piece over here that gets us through. So we're going to have to chop off this and leave this as a semicircle, half circle, and do away with this piece of metal, because this is the area that the flywheel will incorporate, will come into. I almost screwed up. Okay, now we have one made proper. We've got the cut out here so that the flywheel can come right around here. Starter can engage it. Made this hole just a fraction bigger because it's the one with the dowel pin, and the dowel pin is actually just a hair bigger. Our 3 bolts for our starter, and then 2 bolts to go into the block. She's there, baby. Just like the fancy ones you can buy online, only I would say made a little better because we used a quality heavy piece of plate and made sure to measure everything out. They bolted to our application. So there you go. Now I'm going to put some paint on it that hopefully it will be actually done now. Well, if nothing else, at least it looks good. Like always, I'll say it. We go through the ups and downs together here. If I make a mistake, you see it. I'm not trying to hide anything from anybody, because I want you to know what the real in the situation is. Sometimes you make mistakes. Does not matter if you make a mistake and something doesn't work. Just fix it. Just fix it. The first plate I made, I overthought it. I was trying to get all fancy and I overthought it. Just keep it simple. We got it fixed now. Now we can bolt it to the block. Don't think no further into the color than the fact that that's what was laying here, so that's what I used. And the fact that the color's probably gonna get beat off of it about 3 times into using it anyway, throwing it on a shelf, putting it on an engine, so on and so forth. This was not the most exciting video, but I wanted to show people how that you could make they sell these things, but they're about $180 if you can find one. And I made this out of some scrap metal laying around here, and a few minutes of my time, some paint that I had laying around, blah, blah, blah. Now it gets us where we need to be. This is more of a setup video to lead us into what the next video will be, which is the engine firing up on the run stand for the customer in Georgia. That engine needed to be out of here a long time ago. Of course, you know, surgery and, you know, some racing issues and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, life happens and it didn't get out of here on time. But we've managed to hook him up with a few extras that he didn't have to pay for. So hopefully we've made it up to him when he sees it. He ain't even seen it yet. But the coming videos, the next couple of videos, there's some things you're going to see, and we're going to try to get them out fairly quick. One of the things you're going to see, of course, is us putting that engine's on the run stand waiting on me to bolt the starter to it, and I didn't have the correct bell housing to bolt a starter to it, so hence we made this plate. So the next video, hopefully I get them put out in the right order. The next video is going to be that engine running on the run stand, getting the last few bells and whistles tightened up on it so we can run it on the run stand. We've got the short block from Riley's rebuilds that we're doing, or for Riley's rebuilds that we're doing. That block is the machine shop, and probably be getting a call on it sometime in the next few days. It usually doesn't take him long. In the midst of all of that, the Galaxy will be back on here because I'm going to make a change on the Galaxy, not this weekend, but next weekend. We're racing in Ohio, and I want to make a change on that car and try something. Maybe, hopefully, Lord willing, I'll get an opportunity to test it before I go to the track. But if I don't, it doesn't really matter. We've missed so many races now with things going on that I'm out of the points anyway. I'm going to put, let's call it an experimental gear in the back of it. It's a gear ratio that most people have never heard of. Probably, I don't know anybody that's probably ever heard of it. Maybe there's some guys out there that's just Ford 9-inch gurus may have heard of it. But this is a long gone, forgotten about gear ratio that this is actually the only gear, ring and pinion gear I've seen with this particular ratio. I'm going to put it in there. It may slow the car down. I'm hoping not. What I'm hoping is going to happen is it's going to tame the 60 foot a little bit. Right now that car is extremely violent on the launch and in the 60 foot. Violent to the point it's pulling the front end up off the ground, it's twisting the body. It'll actually pop the door open because it's twisting so hard when it comes up in the air. What I'm trying to do is stop. As cool as it is to see a 4,000 pound car pull the front end in the air, I'm trying to knock some of that out and not wheelie when I launch. And I think knocking some of the gear out of the back end will do that. I don't know what it's going to give up on the long run. On the big end, I don't know what it'll give up, but I'm trying to knock some of it out of the 60 foot. We'll see. Also, probably will make a clutch adjustment to try to allow the clutch to slip just a hair more than what it does on launch, and see what happens. It's either going to be slower or it's going to work, and it's going to make one hell of a pass. At the end of the day, this Southeast Gassers race in Ohio is going to be nothing more than a test for me, just to test this gear and see how it does. And I mean, it is what it is. But that will be in a video sometime in the next couple of weeks coming out. So I've got a lot of content coming out in the next couple of weeks. Y'all stay tuned and bear with us. We have a stupid busy schedule the next 2 weeks, but hopefully a lot of content is going to come out of it. So bear with me. Go back and familiarize yourself with the Galaxy if you have not, and see the journey we're on, and see that new that new engine that we haven't quite dialed in yet. haven't had a chance to. We've got a lot coming. Hopefully, we will be back to making great race footage within a couple of weeks, and y'all enjoy that. Please stay with us. Please hang in there. Once we get these 2 engines out of the way that are going out to other people, we will start the engine that we are going to give away on the channel. That's right, you heard me correct. We are going to give away an engine on the channel. It will be built here on this channel, and it will be ran here on this channel, and then it will be given away here on this channel to a subscriber. So if you have not subscribed, please like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. Turn on that little bell if you want notifications. Everything everybody tells you to do. It's hot. I'm going in the house and cool off for a few minutes. God bless y'all. I hope the Lord bless you today more than you did yesterday, and I hope y'all have a fantastic day. Love you guys. See you next time.
I'd say it's a nut job.